Today we have Sharan with us.
I have Becker's muscular dystrophy, which is a muscle weakening progressive disease.
Why do you think there were few friends? What is your message to them?
My message to them would be that not all of us can be the same. We have to accept everyone the way they are, but now enough is enough. Enough of trying to walk and trying to hurt myself. I thank Dubai authorities and Sheikh Mohammed for making Dubai more accessible place.
And I swear, Sharan, that day I felt, my hair was standing.
Got goosebumps.
I got goosebumps and I said, it was like an angel. The 19th of Jan, I'm born on the 16th. And your mom would always bring a cake. And then she'd say, cut it with Sharan. And always my name was
Sharan.
included with yours.
I think it was in Jumeirah Creekside Hotel, I think.
And that's when you got a standing ovation. Right? Being an artist to becoming a motivational speaker. To start believing in yourself that you can do this. Look at you today.
When I woke up, I had a mask on me, like it was a ventilator mask, I think.
And then you started writing emails to different organizations. You started writing to Atlantis, you wrote to Yas Island. And they said, yeah, why not? You can use our facilities in the summer for free. So, hi everybody. Welcome to another series, a podcast series with, today we have Sharan with us, Sharan Budhrani. And so let me begin with when I met him first. So I think it was 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
And you came to SFS, the support group that I've been running.
Yeah.
And I remember your head was just bent over. You refused to talk to anybody. You refused to look up at anyone. And then I came up to you and I said, Sharan, can you, talk to us?
Yes.
And you said, you didn't say a word. And then I actually sat on the floor. And I remember looking up at your face. And I said, oh my God, this guy is so nice looking. He's got the most beautiful eyes. And I said, can you just try? Just look up and talk to us. And then you did. You made an effort. And then you kept coming back to SFS. You felt comfortable there. And do you remember that moment?
Yeah. It was in the Dubai Center for Special Needs.
And why were you feeling like that?
Because I was just coming to terms with my disability. I didn't know how to express myself.
So just tell us what happened. When did you find out and what do you have? And
I have Becker's muscular dystrophy, which is a muscle weakening progressive disease. And when I was born, I did not show any symptoms, but I started walking late. I started having frequent falls. I could not climb the bus like the other children of my age, and I was struggling. I was struggling a lot physically. But when I was 9, I was diagnosed with Becker's muscular dystrophy. And I did not know about it. Only I heard the doctors say that there was no cure. He said just have to keep doing the physiotherapy.
so you were just 9 years old.
Yes.
You heard the doctor. You were sitting inside when the doctor
No,
said
I was
it?
standing outside. My mom had a meeting with the doctors. I was standing outside, but I couldn't hear. But my mom recorded it. Then she played it to me.
Oh, she played it to you.
She played it, or I happened to hear because I was standing right outside the neurologist doctor. So he told my mom that there was no cure.
So
I'm not sure how
when you heard that,
I came to know.
what were you thinking?
There was, I didn't know what to say.
Because 9, come on, you don't even know that there's no cure. What does that mean, So did you see your mother breaking down and, really upset? Because, as a mother, I know what it is. did you see the whole house, everybody in shock, in denial, grieving that our son, this is what.
Not grieving, but trying to find faults was happening in the house.
So everyone was just blaming each other, and
Yeah,
see
and
that's
that
the
happens.
7 stages of
Yeah,
grieving,
yeah.
you know. And how are you coming to terms with it? Did you think there's no cure? Means I will be sitting in a wheelchair. What does it even mean? Did you ask what, or the thought didn't come to you? You were not thinking
I
that far.
I didn't think that far. I did not think all those things.
And so you continued coming to terms with it, and struggling in school. Did you have any friends in school?
There were very few friends. When
Why do you think there were few friends?
because I was very different. I was walking differently. I could not participate in sports like everyone else. And I kept falling.
So did they make fun of you? Did they bully you? What was it?
Yeah, they called me names and so many things were going on, but I didn't. That made me very sad, made me quiet, made me a very quiet person.
So what let's just tell the kids nowadays and the parents of children who are watching this, that if they see their child doing something like this, what is your message to them?
My message to them would be that not all of us can be the same. We have to accept everyone the way they are, but it takes time to get to that point when you try to accept everyone. It's not an easy thing to do.
But do you think it still hurts you sometimes if you go back to that moment? Do you still, or it's finished now?
No, now
It's,
now it's water under the bridge.
you've
Don't
come a
feel
long
it.
way, Sharan. Yeah.
Don't feel anything about it. It's a long journey.
So, you were 9
Mm.
when you found out. Then, at what age were you unable
Using a
to
wheelchair.
walk anymore? And can you relive that moment? I know it's not easy, but can you relive that moment when that wheelchair came to you and they said, "Now you need to sit in this"?
Yeah, I was 15, 16, 17. By 17, I started using the wheelchair more because I could walk, but my walking started slowing down. I started feeling pain in my back while walking, and my ankles used to hurt because my calf muscles were heavy. So it was difficult for me to keep walking. So I kept having falls. I kept spraining my ankles. So one fine day, I had a very bad fall, and it took me 3 months to recover. About 2 months. It was not easy because I could still walk, and I tried and tried not to give up. But then, but seeing the situation and seeing the amount of falls I had, there was no choice but to accept that this is what is going to be a part of me.
But at 15, 16, 17, when your friends are all going out clubbing, not
I
clubbing,
mean,
not clubbing, but they,
sports and
yeah, and I know enjoy sports so much, you know, I can't even imagine how you felt at that time, and also your mom,
yeah,
she's really really stood by you and has been your biggest support system, right? So, okay, the wheelchair came, you sat, and was it like a sign of relief? Yeah, I'm feeling better in this. At some point, did you feel better?
yeah, definitely. So it felt like now enough is enough. Enough of trying to walk and trying to hurt myself.
Were you embarrassed sitting in a wheelchair?
I was, because I never saw I never saw many people around me using a wheelchair, and it was quite a difficult adjustment to make in my life. But because when you see someone in a wheelchair, people, I don't know, it just comes to them naturally that maybe we should talk to the person who is accompanying him, not to the person on the wheelchair. So it's not easy sometimes, but you have to try and make your way.
So I know that, because my daughter Zara
Yeah.
uses a wheelchair as well, but she's non-verbal. But people don't know that, right? When you just see her, nobody knows that she's non-verbal.
Hmm.
So invariably they talk to me,
Yeah.
and I always think of you, and I say, she doesn't talk, but you can talk to her. You can say hello to her. And when we go to a restaurant, they will not give her a menu card
Yeah.
because they just presume she can't read. Yes, she cannot read, but you can, and you are in a wheelchair. So always make it a point to bring it to their notice that no, she needs a menu card as well. Then it's up to me to decide whether I give it to her or not. But she needs it. Just like when you go, they should give it to you as well. They should not ask your mom or whoever you're sitting with that what would he like to eat, right? That's what a
Yeah.
lot of times it happens with you.
Yes.
And does that frustrate you? Does it make you angry? What is it?
No, it does not, because when I go to a restaurant, I try and order myself. So at times it gets a bit frustrating. But I don't know. It's a mixed feeling, because sometimes it's fine. Sometimes
And how do you deal with the staring? Because there's so much staring.
sometimes I ignore the person, or sometimes I tell them, "What are you looking at?" Or I stare at them back.
Just
Then
smile
they feel ashamed.
and say, "Come talk to me."
No, very rarely people smile.
And you use the metro. And so, what has your experience been, traveling alone in your electric wheelchair? I know it's become less right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but you were doing
There
it.
was a time, yeah. It was a sense of freedom, and whenever there were people standing in front of the elevator, I always made a point to raise my voice and tell them, "Excuse me, let me go first." And so I made sure that I checked which which was the which was the metro entrance closest to the elevator. So I kept looking, is it the fifth door, the sixth door? So ultimately I found out that this is the door I must enter. So when I come out, I'll be in front of the lift. So I tried to use my judgment so I could have a better experience of the metro, and I thank the Dubai authorities and Sheikh Mohammed for making Dubai more accessible place, and I'm very grateful for that.
So, Sharan, many times I have called you and said, Sharan, there's no disabled parking in this area, or there isn't any
Wheelchair
ramp.
access.
Yeah. And then you immediately call up RTA, you see that it's done. So, just tell us, what do you do? Is it easy to get it done?
Well, it requires, you need to motivate yourself before you want to do something. So it's like I take a picture of the place and I explain to them in an email that this is my concern and there is no proper access for me to access the footpath or to access the path to the metro station. And few places I was able to do it um, to get the wheelchair access, and it made me feel very good, made me feel motivated to do much more for the community. And
And thank you, seriously, for doing this, because you take the time off, you send the emails, you see that it's done,
then you follow
then you
up.
follow up, then you say a thank you when it's done. So we are all so grateful to you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you were part of SFS. Then when Mawahib started the art studio for adults with disabilities, and I was there as a teacher, and I said, Sharan, come.
Mm,
Because you enjoyed doing art, you like painting.
yes.
So what
What
was your experience there? And how many years were you in Mawahib?
I joined Mawahib in 2010
When it just opened?
in November. They had opened in February, I think.
No, we opened
In
officially in
October,
February, but we opened,
the
the
soft
soft
opening.
opening was in October.
I visited Mawahib. I think it was the month of November or December 2010. And then that was the time when I was at home. I had to miss my grade 12 exams because of my condition. At that time, I couldn't sit as long as I could earlier. So I was at home, and it was quite a frustrating time for me and my mother because all my others, all my other my
Friends.
classmates were going on with their studies, and they were studying for the exams, but I wasn't able to. I was at home for a few months during my grade 12, and I we went to the school principal and we told him that it's getting a bit difficult for him to sit for long hours. So for a few months I sat at home without knowing what my future was. But I picked up a paintbrush and I just started putting paint on paper. Just any random things, whatever I felt, I put it on paper. I liked seeing the colors on paper, and then I realized that maybe I could do art. So I went to Mawahib from 2011, and it was a very enriching experience for me because I had painted my first canvas with the help of you and the volunteers. So it made me very proud of myself, and seeing everyone else like come up to you and speak to you freely, like to treat you as their own. It was quite a good experience for me, and I made a lot of friends who don't judge you, friends who just accept you the way you are.
So there weren't anybody who was physically disabled in
In
Mawahib.
Mawahib.
So you were the only one sitting in a wheelchair, and you were the only one who was not intellectually, you and Victor,
Yes,
because the rest, they had
a bit
autism
of
or they had
challenges.
Down syndrome. And I know that must have been difficult, but you fit in so well, and you were accepting them, they were accepting you. It was really, really
It was
wonderful
just
to see.
it was just the atmosphere that
Yeah.
was created there. So anyone comes there, they just become a part of it. If they are not, if they are interested in art or not, because art was just a medium to teach everyone life skills and to make them independent. And they started using the metro, and it was quite a good experience for them
And
and
you.
their families and everyone else. So it left good memories.
You know what? If anybody asks me, I was in Mawahib for 10 years.
Yeah.
What was my most memorable day? It was on my 50th birthday. And I had requested all the students
Yes.
not to buy me a gift,
Yeah.
but to do something that I didn't know about them. Right? You remember that day?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so that was 10 years back.
Yeah.
So just if you share it, then I'll share my experience.
I thought what greater gift would be than to, put on my calipers, put on my shoes and to just show the moment that where I can stand. And well, I was doing it as part of my therapy sessions at home. So something came to me that maybe I should leave something memorable for you and make it a good experience. And that's all I can say.
You know, it was a cold Jan morning, and the sun was on you, and then, your mom helped you put the calipers
Yes.
on the table,
Yeah.
and then you just stood up. And I swear, Sharan, that day I felt, my hair was standing.
Got goosebumps.
I got goosebumps, and I said, it was like an angel who stood up, because the sun was on your face, your eyes were twinkling. I didn't realize how tall you are, and I said, "Oh my God, Sharan, so tall,"
Yeah.
and that was like the biggest honor for me, that you did this. I'll never forget that moment. And thank you for giving that experience to me as well. And honoring my wishes and really surprising me with. There was another student, Zed, who decided
He
to
made an
make,
omelette.
to make me an omelette. And he got his own pan, he got the olive oil,
Yeah.
he cut the vegetables himself, and he made an omelette for me, which was like so special.
Yeah.
And then Victor, who had never given a speech, who's there,
Hearing impaired.
and he, through another volunteer, gave a speech.
Yes.
And everyone did something so meaningful for me. And I loved it, and truly, thank you. So we were always cutting our birthday cakes together. You're born on the 19th of Jan, I'm born on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
And your mom would always bring a cake, and then she'd say, cut it with Sharan. And always my name was
Gulshan.
included with yours.
Yeah.
And we've always been cutting, for the longest time,
Yeah.
we've been cutting cakes together.
Yeah.
And I don't know which year it was, but I realized that you were getting weaker in your arm. And earlier,
It was easy
I would just support your hand and just not even, cut the cake,
Yeah.
but you were doing it. But then I realized at one stage that
it was difficult.
it was so difficult for you to even hold the knife and to hold your arm out. And that's when I said, okay, art is going to be really hard for him. So what else can we get Sharan to do? And I said, you have this amazing story. Why don't you become a motivational speaker? Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you wrote your speech. We edited 100 times. Add this, do this. Initially, it was not easy for you.
Yeah.
And you said, but I can't do this. But then you did. And I pushed you. I know I pushed you hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, no, it wasn't the best speech. You could do much better than this. And I kept pushing you, and you hated it at that time, that what the hell, I'm doing my best. But do you remember giving that speech? We did it in Singapore. We did it when we...
World Art Dubai.
World Art Dubai. You
We
did
did
it
Dubai
at Dubai
College.
College. Yeah.
And DA.
Yeah. So I think you did one on your own, and then I said, Sharan, I need to sit with you and we'll do this question-answer
Yeah.
session. And you said, no, I can do it on my own.
I had Altair Motors
Yeah.
on the, I think it was in Jumeirah Creekside Hotel, I think.
And that's when you got a standing ovation. Right?
Yeah.
And how was this transition from, from doing art, being an artist, to becoming a motivational speaker?
Well, initially it was difficult for me because I was a bit shy and I could not, I had a bit of stammer in my voice, and it was a bit of struggle for me to do that, but I tried. I gave it my best, and I think that was the best that I could do.
But and then people would come up to you and say that this was amazing. We really enjoyed the talk. Remember?
Yeah, it's because of the motivation that you gave me that I was able to otherwise.
Motivation or push?
Well, pushed not physically, but emotionally and mentally.
You know
It
why I
was
did
required.
that? You know why? Because I believed in you. And I wanted you to start believing in yourself that you can do this. Look at you today. You know, there's no holding you back. So it was worth it. And then you
It
went and
was.
joined. I said, join.
Toastmasters.
So how was Toastmasters?
Toastmasters was a very fun experience because in their meetings, there was a session called table topics. Table topics is like they give you like random questions, and then they pick out the guest or the Toastmaster members who want to be a part of that session. So that session is a very fun and interesting session because it's spontaneous. So in that spontaneous session, the Toastmaster member will ask you a question, and then you have a certain time to reply. But in those few minutes, the answers you can give it just on the point. It's a spontaneous session, and I really enjoyed that session. So I thought of becoming a member at both Toastmasters Club in 2017, and I really enjoyed myself being a Toastmaster. And even though the speech on that moment you feel a bit nervous, but it's a good experience because all the members and all the participants, they always give you a feedback, like positive and negative feedback, but it's a very fun experience.
And then, my colleague who was at Mawahib, Alan, he came up with this brilliant idea. And he said, let's
Let's attach a car, a
remote control car with a funnel with
Yeah.
paint.
That was another interesting experience because as my condition was getting weaker, we had to find an alternative way for me to still continue painting and something that I would enjoy. So as a child, I liked playing remote control cars. It was something that it was a fun experience for me. So I thought, why not let's try and use a remote control car and see what other adaptations and modifications we can make. So Alan came up with a very brilliant idea, and it's something that had never been done before. So he said that he has a unique project for me, and initially I was not very
You were
very
skeptical.
motivated.
Yeah.
So I thought, how would we use a car and then the paint would get on the wheels and it would get stuck and all those things. But initially, when he came up with the idea, for first few months, I was not sure how would it work. But then I started doing a lot of research, seeing the things that I can use, seeing the type of materials which I can use with whatever strength I had. So I think I was able to take part in Sika was due to
As a solo artist.
it was only because of the belief that the teachers at Mawab had for me, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to take part as a solo artist in Sika in 2018. So I think that was a highlight for me as an artist, being at Mawab and using that car as a medium of paint. So it was a unique thing for me. And I even tried buying a remote control helicopter, But unfortunately, that was very hard to manage.
And
Yeah,
then you worked on this large canvas of the
canvas.
horse. It still hangs in my friend Sujata's living
Yes,
room, and she loves it, you know. And every time I go to a house, I say, "Oh my God, I remember Sharan working on this so well." And you were dripping the paint with the rag.
yes.
So you really enjoyed that. And something happened 2018.
Yeah,
Tell us.
2018, uh, 27 July. I was, after taking part, after going to a lot of SFS events in the water parks and in the summer of 2018, on 27 July, I was taking a nap in the evening around 5:30, and I was in a very deep sleep. So my mom came, she tried to wake me up. She saw my phone was in my hand. She tried to take my phone from my hand, but I was holding on to it, and I was not responding. She kept calling me. But I was sleeping, but not. She tried to wake me, but I couldn't wake up. And then she went and called. There was a medical person staying upstairs on the fourth floor who was a nurse in one of the hospitals. So she came to me and she checked my pulse. She said his pulse, he said he's not responding. So then she ran down and she told my mom, we have to call the ambulance. He has to be taken to hospital because he's fallen unconscious. So they took me to hospital. For 2 nights, I didn't know what was happening. I woke up the following morning and I saw these machines. I saw these loud noises of the ventilator and these machines in the hospital. It was very, very disturbing.
Were you in pain?
I was not feeling any pain, but when I woke up, I had a mask on me, like it was a ventilator mask, I think. And then I was in hospital for 3 weeks, and then they tried to see how was my lung capacity. Was I able to breathe without the machine? And they kept trying that to see, can I stay without it? Can I stay without falling asleep? So they kept trying through different devices and seeing that how was my breathing strength. But they saw that they told me to keep awake while being connected on some machine. I don't know what is. I don't know what it was. So they kept trying, and they told my parents that he's not responding well because his breathing muscles have got weaker, and the carbon dioxide in my lungs was above 200. This above the normal level. So which was, I think I got pneumonia, and the pneumonia, then the doctor said that there's no other way but to do a tracheostomy surgery, so we can clear his lungs.
Did you know what that was?
No, I didn't know what that was, but I was intubated. Means they put a tube deep down your throat, and when they put that, you can't speak. And then they put an NG tube passing through your nose, and they pass the formula through your nose, going into your esophagus, going into your stomach. So that was
So you weren't able to eat or swallow?
no, because I had this tube down my throat. The tube is going so deep inside that when they remove it, it's very painful. So
And you couldn't even tell anyone that you're in pain because you couldn't speak?
no, first few days, I had lost interest in life. I had lost interest in life. I saw myself in a very dark tunnel, which there was no coming back. And
Was it like a near-death experience?
It was, but I didn't consider near death. Even though the lights were on, but I found myself in a very dark place where there's no coming back.
Did you want it to all end at that time?
There was a moment.
So did you pray for it? What was it? That I just want this to end? Did
There
you
were,
share it with your mom or with anyone?
no, it was not something that you could speak about. Just like that, you wanted to just close your eyes and just wanted all to end. But when I saw my grandparents, I saw the tear in my grandfather's eyes. It was very hard, it was very painful for me to see that. Because my grandfather loved me very much. And he kept asking me when is he coming home. Because I was in hospital for more than 3 weeks, just about a month. So I used to communicate with writing in the hospital bed because I didn't know how else would I say that it was difficult for me in my condition. My legs had to be positioned in a certain way because of because of the muscle weakness, and it was hard to explain to the nurses that how
to make you comfortable?
how to make it comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, Sharan, you've spoken a lot. I'll give you
Yeah.
a break. I'll tell you. So I was in India. I remember it so clearly. I was having a party in my house. It was at lunch. And your mom called and she said, Sharan is in ICU. And when are you coming? You need to come back. And I said, I was going to leave in a week. And she said, no, you need to come back. He's really bad. And I said, at that time, Mansha, just let him go. I think he's lived his life. Let him go. And she said, no, I'm not ready to do that. And he will come back and he's going to fight it. And so I was trying to explain to her that, it's difficult for Sharan now. Just let's let him go. And I said, can you put my phone on the ear? And I'm going to tell him. So I was all ready to say, Sharan, it's okay if you want to go. You were in a coma at that time, And she put the phone on your ear. And I remember I was crying. And I said, Sharan, come back to us. We need you. I could not say the words,
Yeah.
And I said, we need you, Sharan. Please come back. Please come back. And I'm coming to see you. Please come back to us. And that's what I said to you. And even I was not ready to let you go. And, when I landed at the airport and I came straight to the hospital to see you. And we both had a tear coming down. And you wrote and you said, there's something in my eye. So I said, yeah, there's something in my eye as well. We both didn't want to
Show that emotion.
Show that emotion. But we were both crying. And I was just so relieved to see you alive. Yeah, but it hurt to see you with this tubes.
Machine.
I didn't understand what
These
all this
tubes
was.
and
You
wires.
explained to me what a tracheostomy was. You taught me how to say the word. And it was difficult to watch you like that. And then I remember, we came to the hospital all the time. When you came home, we all made sure that we were coming and seeing you often, keeping you cheerful. It was a difficult time for all of us.
Yeah.
And then not knowing whether you will ever be able to sit again in your wheelchair. Will you be able to come out? What's your life going to be? But something wonderful happened because of all this. An amazing man came into your life, right? Your nurse. And I think he's just changed your life. He's made you more spiritual. I don't know, spiritual, is that the right word? No?
Maybe being more aware
Okay, more aware.
upon
So
my.
tell us about your nurse. I call him Guru Nuru. So tell us about him.
He's somebody who made me so much aware about my condition, about dealing with the tracheostomy, because when we came home from hospital, it was not a very easy transition, because I wasn't speaking for the first 3 months after the surgery, and
So now you can speak because you have a mic.
no, it's a small. It's called a speech valve, which is connected on the outer side of the tracheostomy tube. And the reason why the tracheostomy was done, because there was a lot of fluid in my lungs, and I didn't have the strength to cough it out because of pneumonia. So whatever fluid came had to be suctioned out through the tracheostomy tube. And when that tube goes into the tracheostomy cannula, initially it was a very difficult experience. It was like something going deep down your throat. And when I came from hospital, the process of suctioning was at least every 2 hours. And from the process of eating liquid, going on liquid diet, then semi-solid, then solid. So it was like training myself again how to eat again. So the experience of having a tracheostomy initially is very painful, because when you have to use the ventilator, I was on ventilator the whole day, almost 24 hours. And then,
Is that difficult?
no, that's not difficult, but when you're on a ventilator, you have to keep a lot of things in mind. You can't let the room get too cold, because it can make the person get more secretions from the lungs, and the more the person, the more the
Secretion.
nurse has to suction the patient. It for a few seconds it brings down the oxygen level in your blood with the suctioning. No, the oxygen level in the blood. So the more you suction, the more the person feels weaker.
And this is still happening. I mean, you
Yeah,
still
this
have
is
to.
happening, but we have, thanks to my nurse Noor, who's found a perfect balance. I would not say perfect, but finding the balance that when I get an infection, to start medication as soon as
As
possible.
soon, yeah.
So starting as soon as possible and avoid myself from getting into a serious condition. That was one thing that I commend him for. So he made me more aware. And along with him learning, I also learned with him about my condition. Because in Africa, the tracheostomy surgery is not common. So here, most patients, more people have tracheostomy done here. And mostly people who are a bit aged. So to have a young person going through a tracheostomy surgery is not a common procedure. Some people have it, but just for a temporary time, and then they get it removed once the person comes out of pneumonia or whatever serious condition. that they need it for.
So, Sharan, you're an intelligent guy. You're on the computer.
Yeah.
Do you read about your prognosis? Does that scare
Before.
you?
Before I used to read,
Okay.
I've read a lot about me and my mom. We did a lot of research, looking for cures, going from doctor to doctor. But
I know you
then
tried out stem cell as well.
stem cell, Ayurvedic, homeopathy, and whatever we could do to make my condition better. But at the end of the day, we couldn't find a cure. And then my mom decided that maybe let me improve his quality of life. Instead of running from doctor to doctor and getting the same answer, there's no cure. And even some doctors in Bangalore, the way they stared at me when I got up from the floor, it was quite hard to see.
But you know the prognosis.
Yes.
So when you read or when you read it before,
Yeah.
that it's not going to be, a long life. How do you just live every day for the day, or do you live like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be there in 5 years. I don't know, or how is it? I am sorry to ask this, but people don't understand.
Yeah. Now it's about living day to day.
And
Living
enjoying. I know you enjoy every day.
each day as it comes. Because I think that, in life, things won't happen for us. Sometimes we have to make it happen and you have to seize the moment. That's what I'm trying to live with, that philosophy, that live every moment. Obviously, there are fears, there are failures, there are setbacks, but who doesn't have them?
Exactly.
Who doesn't have them? So you just have to keep being thankful and grateful for everything, for my parents, for yourself, for SFS, who have been a big support to me and my family. And I think if it wasn't for the special family support group, or for Mawahib, or for all the volunteers, I would not come this far. So a very big thank you to everyone.
Nobody has done anything for you. You have touched people's lives. Just being around you gives, so you inspire people. The way your thought process is, the way you think and the way you share your knowledge is amazing. So we everybody who comes towards you is because we really want to, not because we have to.
Yeah.
Because I think your spirit is so beautiful that you share that with everyone. And we are so grateful that you are part of our life. Seriously. And
The feeling is mutual. So, got no words to say.
and SFS is grateful to you because I remember in 2018 this happened. 2019 I said, Sharan, you're going to start working on the summer camp.
Yeah.
And you said,
No.
I am lying in bed with a tracheostomy. What do you want me to do? And I said, you know what? You can send emails.
Yeah.
And the first year, you got, I think, one or
One
two
or
events.
two, yeah.
So just share that.
It was, I didn't know the process of organizing events for a summer camp.
So just talk a little bit about the SFS summer camp. What happens? What do we do?
Every summer, our SFS camp coordinator, Kushpursi, She organizes
No, every year we've been
every year.
yeah,
It's
there
a
are
different,
many different people have come
yeah.
as
So
coordinators.
every year we organize a summer camp for special needs families who are based in Dubai, Ajman, Abu Dhabi, and
Sharjah.
Sharjah. So we organize a summer camp for them, which is absolutely free, and we have a lot of fun activities, events, movies, and everybody has a lot of fun, and they look forward to the summer camp and look forward to the next event because they can, while the children play, the parents can talk about their lives
And the
and find
siblings are
support.
enjoying.
Yes, and find support for themselves. So it's not only for the children, it's also for the parents, for the siblings, for the volunteers. So the whole family gets involved in the summer camps, and it's so nice to see.
And it started because a lot of families couldn't go back to their countries because of financial difficulties. Having a child with a disability is not cheap. I mean, it's expensive.
Yes.
Every therapy is 400, 500, 600
Per session.
dirhams per hour. The schools are not cheap. It is an expensive, and then there's so many equipments that you need. So the families were not going, and that's when I said, okay, let's just have a summer camp. And initially it started really small. It started in my friend Jaru's house. She said, come to my house, and she just opened up her house, and she said, just use I don't mind. And we were, I don't know, about 30, 40 people at that time, and we were all in her house, and we were just having fun. We were singing, dancing, making cake. It started off like that. Then the group started growing and growing, and we're not a registered group. SFS is, it's just a support. We don't take there's no money being exchanged. We just rely on the goodness of the community. And then you started writing emails to different organizations. You started writing to Atlantis, you wrote to Yas Island, and they said, yeah, why not? You can use our facilities in the summer for free. And, we have loads of young volunteers who come in from school. Initially, they started coming for their certificates, but then in the end of the summer camp, they don't even care about the certificate. It's the experience that they've had, and it's been an amazing thing. And you have done a fantastic job. And this year, how many events did you organize?
6.
And they were big. Yeah, I was following. I said, oh wow, Sharan has organized this. This is what Sharan has done. And you were doing it while lying in your bed, sending emails and getting it organized,
Yeah.
right?
There were a few coordinators who helped me, but I don't want to name because there are so many to name.
Yeah.
I don't want to because I might miss out somebody. So it's better I don't name anyone. So just want to say thank you to the coordinators and to yourself too for the support and motivation you gave me.
I trust you. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it started off with just getting one event,
Yeah.
and then 6 this year. Next year, there'll be 10. There's no stopping you. So, thank you so much, Sharan, for everything that you do, for being in our lives. You truly are a blessing.
Thank
Yeah.
you to yourself.
And what does Sharan mean?
It means a shelter.
And
Means shelter.
that's what just, it's been wonderful to know you all these years and to watch you from this shy human being to this absolutely confident young man that you are. And Sharan, before I end, I know you've told me that people don't know how to address you when they meet you. So can I just demonstrate that it's not nice when they come up to you and then
Yeah.
and then they reach out,
Yeah.
and then they see that you're not.
No, not.
So you want them to come to your eye level, and then just grab
Yeah.
your hand and say hi, and then
Yeah.
is that what you want?
Or they could just touch my shoulder. They could just touch my shoulder.
Just
Yeah,
like
that's all.
that. Okay.
Because not everyone can can shake hands on a wheelchair. So it depends.
But you can't shake, but we can shake your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
No?
we can.
So,
Yeah, so
so
just don't try to shake hands. That's yeah.
but you do like people coming up to you and saying hello and starting a
Yeah, yeah.
conversation. You do like that.
Yeah.
And can I, before I end, I know I should have asked you this question before, but you're a young man with feelings. Have you ever had a crush? Have you ever, um, asked a girl out? Has that ever happened? Do you want it to happen?
It's normal as everyone else can have infatuation, crushes. So it's very normal.
No, but many times people think, oh, you're in a wheelchair, so you don't have any feelings. But that's not true. Right? I know about your crushes, so.
It says what every person goes through as they grow up. So
But does
it's
that
a normal feeling.
hurt you that it's just one sided and they've not responded to you? Do you feel hurt? Because everybody deserves somebody in their life.
Yeah, I definitely you do feel, no? It's a normal feeling. But I don't know what to say now. It's just normal. So.
But you would like to go on a date.
If I find someone.
Okay.
If not, we just move on with living the moment and seizing the moment.
So would you like to go on, what do you enjoy doing? Do you like to go out for coffee? I know you like to drink beer. So
No, I've
not
stopped
anymore.
drinking.
You stop beer? Okay.
Stop drinking beer, stop drinking coffee,
Oh, really?
stop drinking tea, nothing.
So if we want to go out with you, then where?
I like going in the garden,
Okay.
but not in the winter.
Somewhere
In March or November when it's not too cold. And I stopped going to the cinemas because I can't sit that long, and then cinemas are cold and I have to follow a certain diet. So it's not very easy for me to go out very often nowadays. But I watch Netflix. I enjoy watching sports.
We went to
I've-
tennis together.
I've started an Instagram page with my poetry. It's called inspire.poetry.sh. It's a Instagram page. And there's another one where I share my artworks. It's a Sharan_action art. These are my two Instagram pages.
Okay, now this is the final.
We're
We are going to end, with the final thing. What is the message to your mom? Now is the chance to tell her everything. And what do you want to say to her? Because I haven't met somebody like your mom who's been the biggest support. She's been your strength. What is your message to her?
I would just say that mothers are very strong, and mothers having a child with a disability are even stronger. So sometimes I wonder how she able to do a whole lot of things that she's doing. Because it's not easy when you have a child who is not always there physically. Like when you have to go somewhere and then sometimes she's going alone. I'm not able to go with her. Sometimes I feel bad, but we inspire each other. We give strength to each other. And it's very hard to be a mother. I can see that. And whenever all you try, you can't make your child be normal. It's quite a hard feeling. for a mother to go through. So that's what I can say.
But what do you want to say to her?
I think thank you is not enough. Even if you say thank you a million times, it will never be enough because the kind of sacrifices a mother can do, a child with disabilities, you cannot imagine. And cannot imagine. And even though we can only say thank you and be grateful and give all the, there are no words to say. So, but
Thank you.
just a big thank you to her, and thank you to my father also, who has become, he is a silent supporter, and that's all. I have many words to say about it. Just thank you,
And to your sibling.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you so much, Sharan.
thank you. You're welcome. It's been a
Sorry,
pleasure.
I made you cry.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's just sometimes you
It was
don't
like
know what to say.
it was like Zara is telling me.
Yeah,
So, oh,
yeah. So it is what it is.